Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. Glad to have you guys here on this Thursday, the 14th of May, 2020. And let's get started. Let's open up the charts right here. Now, what I want to talk about is, this was very interesting. This is a picture of, that was all the way back in 1962, which was about 58 years ago. This artist drew a conception of what he saw the future as being. And the people would be all isolated in pods. And to tell you the truth, with these new diseases coming along, like COVID-19, and maybe next year it'll be COVID-20, and the year after that we'll have COVID-21, and COVID-22, and COVID-23, or whatever, in the end, we'll all need these pods. This is what we'll need to get around, going into the grocery store and everything. I mean, they could make these pods so that they charge up with electricity, and they only go at walking speed, and have a plexiglass dome on them. It's the perfect thing, just a little tiny seat you could sit on, like just in behind there, or you could stand up, inside the pod, and it would be... the air could come in through the bottom through a filtration system, And this is it's a perfect design for what we actually need now in our new society that's riddled with disease. Disease that's coming out of gosh knows where, but I don't think that these things are something that's just an evolutionary development. I think that this has got man's influence all over it, and in the end we'll end up being an isolated society living in pods, But it's not like everything's changing so fast in the world, what we're moving into, it's changing so fast it's hard to keep up with the new developments of how this thing is playing itself out. But we're seeing it playing itself out in real time. Let's take a look at the markets and see what's going on today. We're seeing a nice little bounce in the silver price today. Actually, it's catching a nice little bid today. It's up 22 cents on the day. Let me refresh the page. 24 cents on the day so far. It's left its trading range, and now it's venturing into new territory higher. This is nice to see. Silver and gold, there's a real squeeze coming in the actual physical metals, and so it's not surprising to me to see this price breaking free and moving to the upside right now. It's not surprising at all. Let's take a look at gold. Gold, 1736. It's up $20.80 on the day so far. It's looking real good. Let's take a look at cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is catching a bid too. I want to tell you guys, $262 billion, actually $262.5 billion, 67.7% Bitcoin dominance. And we're looking at a Bitcoin price today at $96.39. Now, you know what, guys? A few days ago, if you watched my show, you remember I called the bottom on this thing back when it was 8,000 and something, I said, boy, that looks like a bottom to me, and I said, I kind of called that bottom, but that's a short-term call on this, because we're moving in toward deflation. But, we've got the productivity of America just suddenly dropped by 30%. And so did the workforce probably drop by more, massive amounts of people that are not working. Right now they're collecting unemployment benefits, most of them, so the system is continuing to run. But those unemployment benefits, that's made as a temporary measure in case somebody loses their job, They'll run out after a while. And then the big question mark in my mind is, what are they going to do? Because most of those jobs, people are not going to find their jobs back. Now, there's two scenarios that could happen here. They could let the unemployment benefits run out in a few more months, and these people not be able to find work, and it would that's when we would really feel the effects. Or they could come in with some sort of a program from the government, run from the government, that would continue to supply these people with money even though they can't find a job. I suspect that the government will come in with some new program, or they might just extend the unemployment benefits for a longer period of time. I suspect that's what's going to happen in this situation. But even if they do all that, right? Still, the loss of productivity is there because those people are staying home, they're not working, you know. Eventually, we're going to see a little bit of an uptick again, and there are going to be jobs start to come back, some, but it's going to take us a long time to get back to what we were, back in 2019. So in this kind of a situation, uh, it's a situation where we're seeing the last time we seen this kind of a situation was back after 1929 and what they called the Great Depression, and this has an awful lot of similarities to that, except one of the biggest differences is back then the dollar was pegged to gold. Now the dollar's free. It's not. They can make as many as they want. Because there's no peg to gold. They're free to make as many dollars as they want. And so with a loss of productivity, we're going to see some of these products, are going to deflate. Like high-end luxury products and things like that are going to deflate. High-end real estate's going to deflate. In other words, it's going to either stay at the same price it is now, or actually the price might drop some on high-end things. But the things that people need in their everyday lives, like groceries, meat, things like that, the prices are going to go up. Things you have to buy. Because people are going to stop buying all these luxury items. And they're going to buy what they can get cheap, or cheaper, even when it comes to buying a car. You're going to see the price of the base model cars, the cheaper cars, not go down that much, but it's the luxury cars that are going to come down, and it's the same way with like apartments or stuff like that. You're going to see the really high-priced apartments, you're going to see the price come down on them. But on the cheaper apartments, you probably see the price stay the same because people need to have a place to stay, And it's going to work that way all the way through the economy. So we got a tremendous imbalance in the economy, and these imbalances are going to work their way out in the next 6 months to create what I'll call the new normal. That's what I'll call it, the new normal. So the new normal is coming in the economy in about 6 months from now, when this virus starts to not be such a big issue. Then we're going to move into the new normal with 30% less productivity in the country than we had back in 2019. Okay, let's take a look at the Dow today. It's up 13 points on the day so far. Now, we did have an awful dip earlier today where it was down, I guess maybe 400 points or whatever, something like that. And now it's up 13 points. So let's take a look now at the price of oil today. It's up 75 cents today, 2.97%, 26.04 on the day so far for crude oil. We've seen a tremendous drop in they're already capping wells, in the shale oil patch. And so we're going to see a drop or a decline in the amount of U.S. shale oil production coming up very soon, because shale oil is expensive to get out of the ground. They're losing money on every barrel at these prices for oil, and I don't see oil going up above $35 a barrel for considerable ways out into the future. Eventually, it's going to go up. The price is going to go up because an awful lot of U.S. oil production is going to drop off, and the economy is going to start to pick that back up and use a bit more oil again. And so what we're going to see then is we're going to see the prices pick up. But that's quite a little ways out yet before we get there. Let's take a look now at U.S. Treasuries. We're looking at falling yields on the Treasuries. We're looking at 1.28% on the U.S. 30-year. It's fell almost 7 basis points. And for the U.S. 10-year, we're looking at 0.615, and it's fell 3.5 basis points. It's fell today so far. Let's take a look at the U.S. dollar index. 100.43 on the U.S. dollar index. I found that very interesting about life in 1962. This guy drawing this picture here of life in 2022. So that would be 2 years into the future. He sees this. Us all driving around these little bubble cars. You know, I'm going to tell you, if you had one of those little bubble cars with a plastic plexiglass and the air would come in through the bottom and through a filtration system, you could go almost anywhere in that thing, you know, around town, even inside the grocery stores, because run on electricity, and you would have almost zero chance of catching anything because of the plastic dome would protect you from everything. Because there's other things, you know, you can catch besides the virus. There's other viruses and stuff. There's a lot of things you can catch. You know, tuberculosis is on the increase. And it's a drug resistant. It's very, very dangerous. And it can be caught just as easy as the COVID virus. You know, and it's a very dangerous virus. Anyway, listen, thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. We'll catch you guys in the next show. Bye-bye.